Now, let's dive into our discussion on AI automation. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to start off by posing a question and go through each of you one by one to kind of give your contribution or answer to this question. And so we'll start off with Jim, and I'm going to start off, Jim, is how is your company meeting the changes in AI?
Well, it's been very slow so far. I would say that several months ago, like everybody, we started playing around with chatbot, just to see like what we could do to automate some SOPs that we were working on. You have a short time for the leaders to be able to do some of these things, and you give a prompts, and all of a sudden just reams of really well thought out SOPs were being manufactured in seconds. So it really got our attention. But since then, I think there's three main things that we're looking at, and this is with the hat I wear on continuous improvement. I'm in charge of R&D and continuous improvement. And on the continuous improvement side, we're looking at three main areas. One is using video analysis to create SOPs and retraining, because we have hundreds of video cameras in the facility, and most of these, honestly, are just if there's a problem, root cause, did somebody put the wrong ingredient in the batch, and then we go to root cause. Or somebody's not, doing something appropriate. But I think we can do a lot more than that. And once you model the right behavior for the AI and say, this is the way that you would do linear scaling, for example, and adding ingredients to your cookie dough. Once it has a model process, then if there's a deviation from that, it could come back and say, hey, I think there's some retraining that's needed on this shift, or for lack of a better term, computer, can you create me an SOP for how I would do this particular process just based on the video learning? So that's one big area. The other one fairly obvious one, I think, would be downtime reduction. So you have predictive failure. So we've got a couple systems already in the bakery, but they're not talking to each other. So one of them is a vibrational sensing system. So as the machine wear and bearings start to fail, they start making vibrational signatures. So that's one bit of data that you can gather. But we're also doing thermal imaging now. So we're training the team to do thermal imaging of different bearings, and you can start seeing a failure progression as far as them getting warmer and warmer. Well, with the AI, they would be able to tell, hey, looks like this is going to fail in 20 hours. So why don't you take the downtime in 15 and start getting out ahead of the curve instead of running to failure, which is our MO. We just tend to run to failure. Something fails, and then we deal with not only the downtime, but also there's a foreign material risk sometimes when things fail. It's disruptive to the organization. And then you can also start, the more information, you mentioned, garbage in, garbage out, but the more information that you feed into the system, the more it can start understanding, well, okay, I'm seeing a PM completion rate on this particular piece of equipment that seems to be lacking. So I'm going to dial up the failure time to 10 hours because it just doesn't look like this is going to make it.